Now is Democratic Congresswoman Sherry Bustos. She is the chair of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. Good morning, Congresswoman.
Good morning, Allison.
Our reporting is that the president will sign this bipartisan deal, though strangely, he is tweeting something that is confusing. He says last night, regardless of wall money, it is being built as we speak. What do you think of this new narrative that he's claiming that his wall is already being built?
Well, I think CNN ought to send a crew down and find out exactly where this is happening. I know it was baffling. And as you started out your question to say, you know, he tweeted something that was confusing. Well, you know, I mean, it's kind of the state of affairs these days. But I think if you look at this big picture, it was a huge, huge mistake to close down the government, to shut it down for 35 days, to have 800,000 federal workers not getting a paycheck. Just heard a report about how many of these workers had to dip into their retirement, how many are late on their house payments, just the terrible financial toll and the emotional toll that this took on so many people. And again, if you look at this from a broader perspective, we are going to have policy differences with the President of the United States. Democrats and Republicans are going to have policy differences. This does happen, but that is what the legislative process is all about. Yeah. We work through these, but we don't have our federal workers not get paid as a result of us working out our policy differences.
But I mean, I think that this is more than just one of the president's confounding tweets. I think that this one is really jaw-dropping because it sounds like he's referring to the 40 miles of replacement barrier that is being shored up. And if that's the case, the 40 miles of replacement barrier, so it already existed, it's not a wall, but it's a barrier. If he's talking about the improvements that are being done to that, then why was the government shut down for 30? If he's satisfied, in other words, with that, and he can tweet to his followers that the wall's already being built, then why was the government shut down for 35 days?
Well, it was a total waste. As I said, it was unnecessary. The president, all he had to do is say he was willing to take a look at a negotiated, a compromised proposal. And that is what is coming out of this, the talks between the Senate and the House, Republicans and Democrats. I know they are still working out the fine details, but this is how legislation is supposed to happen. What I find interesting about this latest proposal, and we don't have all the fine details, by the way, but that we have people kind of on all sides or kind of more of the outside of the spectrum saying they are unhappy with it. And I come from a district that Donald Trump won. I'm a Democrat, and so I understand the importance of negotiating, of compromise. And I would say if you've got this side a little upset, this side a little upset, then we probably at least have something that's workable.
I mean, and I also just want to say that Nancy Pelosi had said not a dollar, not a single dollar for his wall. And it turns out that Democrats are going to be giving $1.3 billion for a barrier. I mean, I don't know if you make the distinction between a wall and a barrier, but Democrats are giving money after it sounded like Nancy Pelosi had sworn that off.
Well, there's the report that I'm being given, and that obviously you're reading as well, is $1.37 billion for a barrier. It's slats, it's fencing, that sort of thing. This has really gotten down to the semantics of the wall. The president, as a candidate, Trump spent about 2 years on the campaign trail saying that, you know, build the wall. It was every place he went, to his cheering, adoring fans. And so to him, it's got to be a wall. To Democrats, we know that we believe in border security. We want to make sure that our citizens are safe and our country is safe. It is just what it is being called, and that has become kind of a sticking point on all sides. But the deal right now, as we stand here, is $1.37 billion for fencing. It's no new design of any sort. Mm-hmm. If the president is saying that this is some giant, big, long concrete wall, that is not the case. And so hopefully, because of what we are agreeing to, and what the Republicans in this deal are agreeing to, that we can all say, okay, we're getting something that hopefully we can all live with.
Yeah. I want to ask you about another